Are you serious? Are you serious? California's out of water. You remember the great gold rush of 1849 when everybody was going to California for the gold mines? Well, now everybody might need to leave California for the water spouts. What? Yes, dry, parchness, desperate, thirsty souls throughout California, according to a report by the BBC News. I want to thank Punk Shoe for this report, very powerful. But according to this report, drought has hit California, and you'll be fined if you're caught wasting water. What? What does that mean? Well, according to officials in California, they've approved a fine up to $500 a day for residents who waste the water, as the state faces its worst drought in nearly 4 decades. According to the LA Times, this is the worst drought in California since they started doing records in 1871. Now, the measures have been introduced to stop the water being wasted on the lawns, landscaping, and car washing. Water consumption, though, went up 1% through May of this year, even despite appeals for people to cut back as much as 20% and so about 75% of the water used in California is for agricultural purposes. So, I mean, if we run out of water, you can't water the crops. There'll be nothing to eat besides nothing to drink. This is what happens when a famine hits the land. And Jesus said in Matthew 24, there would be false Christ and false prophets shall rise, and they shall deceive many. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in divers places. But famines is because God has turned off the water. Now, historic and unprecedented, the fines will be enforced only in cases of wasteful outdoor watering, according to officials, such as landscaping, to the extent where runoff flows onto pavements. Other practices frowned upon by authorities include washing a vehicle without a nozzle on the hose, or watering down hard surfaces such as pavements and driveways. Our goal here is to light a fire under those who aren't yet taking this drought seriously, said the Water Resources Control Board Chairwoman Felicia Marcus. So get ready, California residents. They're going to start handing out $500 fines left and right wherever they think is necessary, as they're going to clamp down due to what they say is a major water shortage. Now, she described the vote that introduced this measure as historic and unprecedented because the board is trying to ensure that it is not just the state's farmers who suffer because of the drought. Many communities and water suppliers have taken bold steps over the years and in this year to reduce water use. However, many have not, and much more can and should be done statewide to extend the diminishing water supplies. Is this going to be another tax? Are they going to start charging you or taxing you or fining you over the use of water? And you know, it won't be long. Water will be more expensive to buy than crude oil. Water will be the #1 energy source needed desperately by man instead of the oil. See, we're living in a different world. God is turning off the spigots. And I tell you what, I did a video last night actually, where I did an interview with Mike from around the world about this thermal the thermosphere heating up, how it's affecting the ionosphere and the stratosphere and even our atmosphere, creating these extreme weather patterns and straight line winds, but also it's the sun, the CMEs from a lot of solar flares on the sun. But because the thermosphere is heating up due to a gravity wave that's affecting actually space, it's putting pressure on the core of the earth and is heating up the thermosphere, which in turn is causing the core of the earth to rise with volcanic activity. And that's why you're seeing the Yellowstone National Park rising and the roads are melting. The ocean is even rising. Dormant volcanoes are reawakening. And when the thermosphere heats up, it dissipates cloud cover. Without clouds, there's no rain. Without rain, there's no water. Without water, there's no food or life. But this was actually prophesied to us in the Word of God. And the Lord even took it a step further in the book of Hosea and said, there will be a famine in the land, but not for bread and water, or basically not necessarily for bread and water, or not only for bread and water, but for hearing the word of the Lord. So you're not only having a drought in the preaching, but it's also manifesting in the food and water. Let me just tell you something. Whatever's going on in the spiritual world, many times manifests in the physical world. Matter of fact, all through the Bible it did. Even Jesus' end time signs, he talks about immorality and natural destructions. They go hand in hand. Something biblical's going on. I'm going to play more about Mike's interview. I'm going to play part 2 of the interview I did live on the air last Tuesday, I believe it was, July the 8th. And I'm going to play another segment of it. Something biblical's going on, folks. Don't miss today's broadcast. Actually, what I'd rather do is, I hope Mike can call in today on my live broadcast today, because if he does, we'll just go ahead and get some more information about this extreme weather patterns. And remember, listen to this. The French foreign minister said we're 500 days until climate chaos. The President of the United States is predicting greater storms, hurricanes, typhoons, cyclones, sort of like Hurricane Sandy. John F. Kerry and many nations are now gathering for a climate chaos summit. Something's going on. It's biblical. Are you saved? Give your life to Jesus Christ. We're running out of time. Don't miss today's broadcast live at my website from 12 noon to 3 p.m. Eastern. We hope Mike from around the world could call in as well as others. That's paulbegleyprophecy.com. That's www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. Go to the live broadcast from 12 noon to 3 p.m. Eastern. And don't forget tonight, right here on YouTube, a YouTube live event exclusive. I will be live here on YouTube. You can find it by just typing in the search bar there, Paul Begley Live, Signs Since the First Blood Moon. It's a live broadcast on YouTube. Live on YouTube. YouTube only. And you'll want to go there. Starts at 9 p.m. Eastern. There is a chat room on the YouTube page right next to the screen, so you can participate live with others. 9 p.m. Eastern. It's a 2-hour special live event. Don't miss it. Tonight on YouTube.